us. We suffer every day. Can you imagine? We have been here for centuries and we're still lagging around. If we to start a business in Jamaica, it's one of the hardest things to start a business. While the Chinaman come from China, come to Jamaica, start a business, non-tax for 5 years.
Guys, I'm Bibo once again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay guys, remember, if it's for the first time, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Guys, today I have this viral or trending clip of 2 Chinese being arrested in Jamaica for having counterfeit goods. Kindly have a look and then come back for more discussion.
Today's video we're going to be talking about this counterfeit bust that they did in Jamaica. And at first I just seen the pictures of all the merchandise that they literally stacked up on a truck to bring to throw it away, dump it basically. Them dump all of it and burnt it. So this article says 2 Chinese nationals have been charged by investigators from the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime branch of the police force, following the seizure of counterfeit goods valued at over 300 million in an operation on Princess Street in downtown Kingston on Wednesday. 40-year-old Zhang Timping of Kingston 5 address and 32-year-old Yang Zaho of Kingston 8 were both charged with unauthorized use of trademark, breaches of the Customs Act, and misleading and deceptive conduct. Reports are that about 9 a.m. lawmen were on an operation in the area when a number of stores were searched. Hundreds of counterfeit items including shoes, clothing, phone cases, backpacks, and other items were seized. 6 persons, 5 males, 1 female, were subsequently taken into custody. However, 4 were later released. The accused are to appear in Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on May 2nd. And they didn't say if they were remanded or not, or if they got bail or not. And these 2 people that they held were Chinese nationals. And that's what the headline says. 2 Chinese nationals charged for massive counterfeit seizure. So we know in Jamaica a lot of our importation or of goods come from China. So everything, well, not everything, most of what is in Jamaica, from food, clothes, hair, shoes, everything there comes from China. All the Louis Vuitton and Gucci, where everybody have on it, say them in a big brand, China it come from. So the part that struck me was they actually locked up 2 Chinese nationals. That's a first. Okay? A first, because we know that a lot of these Chinese people that come to Jamaica, they come, they set up shop, and when they set up shop, they get their products from China directly so that they can sell their products cheaper than, say, another person that's there. So them get that type of benefit. There's no way so many Chinese nationals can come to Jamaica, set up shop, and they have all these products and they're not breaking any rules, law, and regulation. Me mean, like, everything says made in China or Jamaica now. Even the food. Jamaica is no longer a farming country. We don't buy from our farmers. Our food is imported from China. So to see this bus right here, I guess they're seeing that people are talking about how these Chinese nationals are coming in and taking over Jamaica. And quite frankly, when they come in, they make it hard for other people, especially other Jamaicans that are trying to build and grow their business in certain communities, because them can't afford to import the things them from China cheaper. Them can't afford to make Tina, Louise and Shorty come and trust things, and they can also afford to have lower prices. So it makes it harder for Jamaican people that are trying to own businesses and be entrepreneurs to compete with them. And you know how Jamaica set up. Anything we have to do with China, them depend it quick, fast and in a hurry. If a Chinese national die in Jamaica today, they're finding somebody to lock up today. So to see them to see them actually lock somebody up that's of Chinese descent in a case like this is very shocking. This is the first I've ever seen anything like this make news. Everything else, one Chinese man dead and we find somebody 6 hours later fi lock up and send God jail for it. Same thing with that Chinese lady that boxed up that little girl for $40 Jamaican dollars, not even $1 US dollar. She went to court, she paid the family a few bucks and she got off scotch free. So I'm going to follow this case and see exactly what's going to happen with this case, because this is over $300 million worth of counterfeit goods that they seized and had to throw away and burn. So I'm gonna see if they're gonna do the same thing that they have done previously when they lock up Chinese nationals. Them give them a slap on the wrist and tell them, say, okay, you have to pay me a certain amount of money, and then them gone about them business and do the same thing over again. So I'm gonna see what's going to happen, because if they buy out this case, then we need to say something about it, because there's no way this should go and be swept underneath the rug at all whatsoever. So I'm gonna watch this case.
We suffer every day. Can you imagine? We have been here for centuries and we're still lagging around. If we to start a business in Jamaica, it's one of the hardest things to start a business. While the Chinaman come from China, come to Jamaica, start a business, none tax for 5 years. And by the time the 5 years come when he start pay tax, he making cousin and he never and he uncle come and him gone. So and listen, this have been happening for centuries. So this have nothing to do with PNP or JLP. And you know at the end of the day, none of them now want to fix it, because all of them want us to, the black man, to stay at the...
Guys, I hope you have watched the full clip, and let me tell you, it's high time for Jamaican to take back their destiny in their own hand, and the Jamaican government to support the economy of Jamaica, but not for the Asian economy. It's high time for the Jamaican government to support the economy of the Jamaicans, whereby it allows the Jamaicans to do business, to do more investment in their own country, not for this Asian or for more investors like this Chinese. This has got it has got so much attention to many people, whereby these Chinese, when they come to Jamaican country to invest, can you imagine they have been given 5 years for free without paying taxes? They are being invested in Jamaican country for 5 years without paying taxes, and this is a good opportunity whereby you can give to some Jamaicans or to your own people, whereby if you give this opportunity to Jamaican, they can do better than these Chinese people. I know so many people will be so excited. Guys, I really know this is a very good news to Jamaican people, and let me tell you, for all those presidents that govern our country, like all countries in the whole world, if you have to start to trade with this outside of these investors, trade with people of your own kind. Let me tell, like our country in Kenya, if our government want to trade business, let it trade like with people or the country like Tanzania or Uganda. Likewise to Jamaican people. If you want to trade, just start with these small people. Like your closest country is Haiti. Why can't you just trade like people with like Haiti? So because these are the people who will support you and who will not come to your country and bankrupt it or boycott it. So it's high time for this government or the government that govern us to trade people who can really support you. In Jamaica, a lot of Chinese have just invaded this country. They have built big hotels in the country. They have built many restaurants, many supermarkets in the country, whereby, yeah, they say they are creating employment by. Where does this employment whereby you are being employed, but at the end of the day, you are being devastated, you are being paid low wages, low amount of money, whereby you can't even go back to home or just put something on your table or just provide food for your own family. So it's high time these Chinese just to be given some rules whereby if you come to a certain country, go with their rules. This tax thing of whereby they just come to your country and for first 5 years, imagine like 100 Chinese come to Jamaica and they're given that rule whereby you can't pay tax for 5 good years. The country will go bankrupt. The country will have a lot of debt outside, whereby it will reach a time whereby the government decide to go and borrow a lot of money outside the country to stabilize the economy of Jamaica. Whereas they can just tell these Chinese or give these Chinese new rules to tell them, if you come to our country and start a business, as the time you start the business, you should just start paying the taxes, because they are really earning a lot of money in this business. And the more they earn money, the more they build more branches. And this what caused a lot of black people, a lot of black Jamaicans to suffer, because they are growing their business whereby the Jamaican business is just going down. Imagine a Jamaican opening a small business, he or she is paying a lot of taxes, and they're just those outsiders from Chinese that just come to their country to joyride. They're opening a lot of business in there, but they ain't paying taxes. So it's high time for the government to support the local economy of Jamaican people, but not these Asian people. I have other clip whereby these Chinese have been arrested in other countries for just doing bad business or bringing bad goods into the country. Just kindly have a look and then come back for more discussion.
This is the home of the 37 Chinese nationals who were on Friday charged with possession of suspected stolen items at Buganda Road Court. This follows an ongoing police probe that unveiled the racket after concerns by some neighbors. The raid showed motherboards of used phones and laptops reportedly stolen in Uganda, then repackaged and exported to China.
And these motherboards for the phones we suspect were snatched from Ugandans.
There were also wildlife exhibits like tortoises, pangolin scales and fish maw also recovered from this house. This is not a phone processing plant, but a makeshift control room with over 2,000 phones, each connected with a Ugandan SIM card in the names of certain individuals. Several Airtel and MTN new lines are visible. So far, police investigations show that these are used for financial crime, especially on the WeChat social media.
We note that these phones were connected to an online platform called WeChat. This is basically a Chinese-owned platform, and it is used for messaging and financial transactions. Now, the preliminary investigations we've had indicated that there were so many financial transactions done on that WeChat. And basically the targets were Chinese. Whether there are some other transactions that have been done that compromise our financial institutions and even security generally. There is also something we have also noticed, that all these telephones which are up are bearing the Ugandan telephone lines of Airtel majorly, with over 1,895 SIM cards, and also MTN of around 223.
Well, this is one of the rooms that these Chinese have actually been sleeping in, as you can see, the bed sheets and the duvets. But again, according to police, they've picked interest in another potential crime, that is smuggling. Because in this room we have boxes and boxes of cigarettes, and if I can read here, it's sept walls. And according to police, they're investigating how these boxes of cigarettes got into the country, and still they're yet to find out if it's actually one of the types that is allowed to enter the country. According to police, some of these suspects were also transacting business without work permits, as many entered the country using visitors' visas.
I hope you have watched the full clip and you have seen what the government of Uganda did to these Chinese. They have arrested all of them, and I really want to thank the police of Jamaica for what they did too by arresting these two Chinese that I really want to thank this Jamaican police who arrested these Chinese. They really did a great job, and this will maybe a lesson to some others who won't be able to either boycott or bring some bad stuff to Jamaica. A lot of people are asking themselves a lot of questions, like this simple question: can a black man or any person from Jamaica go to Chinese and do the same thing, whereby he can go to Chinese and rent a lot of or invest a lot of money in Chinese, whereby the government of Chinese should give him this opportunity to just open a business for 5 years without paying taxes? No, it can't be possible. This is the problem that affects in a lot of African countries, whereby we should learn to be your own people. We should learn and stop supporting these outsiders. Yeah, they bring employment to our country. Yeah, it's a good thing, but let them come to a country with some limit and some rules, because there's no way, like I personally can I go to China and just start investing anywhere. There will be the government of China will give the Chinese all these opportunities. The government of Chinese, they can't allow black people to invest in their own country, but for them they want to invest in a lot of these African countries, whereby it's kind of like they will go back, and maybe a lot of these countries that have a lot of debt, that owes China a lot of debt, they can be ruled by Chinese. They will be the colony of Chinese people, guys. And funny thing about these Chinese people investing in your own country is that if they come to your country, they will really invest and do a lot of business, whereby they get a lot of money. In return, they can't spend that money in your own country, whereby when they have just made a lot of money, they have been satisfied, they will go back to their country, China, to invest there so that their country to continue developing. And this is really a great challenge that a lot of leaders should learn, because if you continue like this, there's no way we'll be developed, because a lot of African countries are still developing. They really, and a lot of people are hoping to be like these other countries. Look, countries like Switzerland, countries like Turkey, they have really developed their country, whereby a lot of investors go to there, but they are given different rules, whereby if you go to that country and invest, you must be advantageous to that country but not disadvantageous. You must go to that country and bring a lot of advantage into that country. You should not just go to that country and use all their resources and then come back and go back to a country and invest in that country. So it's high time for a lot of leaders to learn this thing, whereby these people, when they come to a country, whenever they invest in a country, those money that have invested in a country, they should just remain in that country and invest more, not to go outside the country and invest in their own country. Thank you guys for watching my clip. Thank you for supporting me. Let's meet in the next clip.